about the evolution, the recent evolution from the names American Tribal Style to Fat Chance Belly Dance Style?
That is a very recent evolution. When I first started teaching, I just referred to what I was doing as belly dance. And when I brought the dance form out into the belly dance world, people said, "What style is this?" And I was like, "It's belly dance," because that's all I'd ever called it and all I'd ever heard anything called. You know, all belly dance was belly dance. And they said, "No, this is different." And I was like, "It is." And for quite a few years, the traditionalists, the rock sharky and cabaret people, were really unhappy about my being on the scene because the general public was assuming that what I was doing was traditional and what they were doing was new, when in fact it's the reverse. And I could see why they had an issue with that. And so I tried to play nice as much as I could. And I remember distinctly at a belly dance festival, Rakasa West, a dancer came up to me in the dressing room and she said, "Morocco has decided that your style is called American Tribal Style."
Oh, it's from Morocco. Oh.
Well, but wait. And I said, "Okay, great. Now can I dance? Call it whatever you want." But I needed that title to come from the traditional community. I wanted to play nice. So it was called American Tribal Style. And then people started abbreviating it to ATS. And then people started using tribal as an umbrella. So it started out as a really specific, sorry, there's helicopters going on overhead.
I was wondering what that sound was.
Yeah, I'm in California, so they're always checking for our wildfires. So originally I was given that title, American Tribal Style, to single us out as something really specific. Then it became a really general term. And all of these different tribals popped out. You know, there was tribal ray, like cabaret tribal style and gothic tribal. And I was like, but those are not tribal. Those are their own thing. And all of a sudden it started to get really muddy. And I tried to make it clear to people that tribal is not the name for experimental. It actually defines this style, but it had already gone so far afield that what I decided to do was to take back ATS and American Tribal. So tribal could be whatever you're doing. It's all good. I want everyone to dance and have a good time, but I want our style to remain distinct. So I narrowed down American Tribal and ATS and eventually was encouraged to put a registered trademark on it, which sort of solidified the community because you had to really be doing ATS to use the registered trademark. So then things started to settle down around that issue. And then just recently, there was a big discussion about the fact that using the word tribal was a cultural appropriation. And at first I thought, well, but it's cultural appreciation, because that's what we'd all like to be able to say. I'm appreciating the cultures that I've borrowed from, but in fact, it is a cultural appropriation. And should I change the name? Can I change the name? Like, what would happen if I changed the name? And then Sophia Salazar Rubio, who's one of my advanced teachers in Fat Chance Belly Dance, said, originally the phrase American Tribal Style denoted Fat Chance Belly Dance. But back in the day, if we had called it Fat Chance Belly Dance Style, nobody would have been able to make an association because we weren't well known yet. But she said, in fact, for the rest of the world right now, ATS is Fat Chance Belly Dance. So why don't we flip it back around again and call it FCBD style or Fat Chance Belly Dance style, because the people that want American Tribal Style want FCBD style. And I thought, that is brilliant. It's brilliant. So back in the day, what we wanted to call it was FCBD style, but it wouldn't have made any sense back then. But 33 years later, it made perfect sense. It actually worked out really well. The only caveat to that is that a lot of dancers who are not in North America are quite happy with the word tribal. And for their community, changing it to FCBD style is like turning it into nothing. So I've said to everybody, if you want to use the word tribal, you can do it. But for a professional and political reason, I decided to make that change. So that's the long and short of it.
After being established, then you could redefine yourself again easily. Sounds like the transition wasn't that crazy.
Not at all. Not at all. It made perfect sense.
Well, life hands you something, hands you new information that you haven't considered before, and you make it beautiful. That's what you do, right?
You got to.
Yeah.
Because it's all improv on stage, right? That's what life is.
Right.
But you got to just take it and go, okay, I can work with this. This is not going to unfoot me. I know where I'm going. I know where my people are. So same as improv on stage.
Cool.